Okay.
Um,
No, I'm just. You mentioned earlier. I was watching one of your earlier one. You had
oh
a
yeah? Oh
girl.
cool.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I wanted to find out what it was like. And you mentioned somebody else might be joining us, so I don't.
it's fun. Oh, no, tonight I'm having another one.
Okay.
But
Okay.
okay, we're live. Hey
Okay.
everybody, welcome to Jet Live. Again, technical difficulties, so I'm by my liquor cabinet. Uh, that's what happens when we have technical difficulties.
So wait, how do I
Um,
share this live on
I'm
Facebook?
going to do that. I'm gonna send you right now um, the link. Just because I'm using the one computer. It's here. This is the link in the chat.
Okay.
See
And
it?
I see it. Do I just click on it?
You could paste it into a tab, and then it'll take you straight to the link,
Okay.
and you
Well, I
can
just lost it.
start a watch party from there. Hey Miriam, how are you? Welcome for joining.
Okay. I lost the link. It
Um,
disappeared.
Thank you for joining.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. Virtual background will work.
so this. Hey Sivan,
Okay. I can't find the link
thanks for
again. It
joining.
disappeared from my screen.
Oh, okay, it's in the Zoom chat. Do you have the Zoom chat open?
Oh, there. There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay, so if you just copy and paste that, you'll be able to. Hi
I put it
Amy.
on. I put it on Facebook.
You
Yes.
put you open up a new tab and then you can share it and make a watch video, and everybody over there
Okay.
can join in. Hey Shlomi, welcome. All right. So we're here with Jet Live. We have Luna Inocian here. Pronouncing it right. I've been afraid that I haven't been pronouncing it correctly this whole time.
Yeah. It's well, Filipinos pronounce it wrong as well because it's not your usual. It's Inocian.
Inocian.
Yeah,
Ah,
it's like in ocean, but in
Inocian.
ocean. In
Okay.
ocean. Yes.
And you've a lot of ocean over there.
What?
You've got a lot of ocean over there. So
Yeah.
great. It's great to see you again. We when I was in the Philippines, and I came to see Song of Solomon, and Providence had us sit together at lunch. I wasn't
Yes.
even supposed to be there, and so I've been grateful to be speaking with you all these years. You're developing projects constantly, and you're working on something now
Yes.
that's very close to the Jewish people.
And I'm very thankful for you for being my consultant.
Thank you. It's been wonderful, and you had a show that actually was running very recently in
Yes.
the Philippines. The the let me see if I got it. The Legend of Ardana.
Yeah, the quest for
The
the
Quest.
Adarna.
I kept on saying legend or thinking legend,
Yeah.
but the Quest of Ardana, which is actually you were saying it's a Filipino legend.
It's a Filipino epic, and it's your usual story. Three brothers, father gets sick, uh, the bird can heal the father. Three brothers set out. The two elder brothers don't get it. The younger one gets it. They
Ah,
throw him in, and they throw him in the pit to get credit, etc., etc., etc. So
wow, that does sound like a story I've heard before.
Oh, it occurs a lot in a lot of stories all over the world in various, uh, they're different things. They look for an elixir or whatever, something to heal somebody. But
And
it's, yeah,
you're constantly writing. You're consistently writing something. Has it been a different process for you during this time, or you're just
right.
continuing?
Yeah. I'm just, well, let's put it this way. I'm usually commissioned to write something. My actual writing that's continual is usually corporate stuff. I mean, events, concerts, product launches. That's where the money is, and that's where I get my normal pay. That's totally gone. No one's doing anything in that department, which means I now have time to do the plays. And right now, I only have Esther to finish,
Mhm.
which is basically this is the one you're helping me with. It's basically finished, except if you know what writing is like. So it's not going to really be finished because once my composer gets his hand on it, then we work again, then we work with the director. So, but now that I have time, I'm looking at it again and thinking, oh, this is trash. Maybe I'll change this again. When you have time to look at your material, you keep editing, and this is terrible. Anyway,
Right. It's always it's so there's the writing process,
yes.
and there's the rewriting process,
Oh, yes.
and then the rewriting process, and
Oh,
then more
yes.
rewriting.
Oh, yes. I
Have
was just
you?
telling,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah.
My last play, I was just cleaning out my files, which I have time to do. And like I had 40 revisions.
40?
Yes, 40.
Is that a lot of?
That's usually a lot because I think The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, when we did it, we had seven, 17 or something. And that was you know, that was a harder sell because it was harder for me because it was the very first musical I'd ever
Mhm.
done. But then I had a writing partner, which made it a little bit easier.
Has it gotten easier since you've written and produced and gotten produced some of your work? Has it gotten easier to produce your work, or is it the same process all the time, finding the investors, finding the people
Uh,
that are interested, the audience?
Basically, yes, it's you have to find someone to do it. So what I'm doing, what I have been really blessed is that they ask me to write. So I don't have to look for producers. Somebody says, I got the
Mhm.
money. Do you want to do this? Will you do
Mhm.
this for us? And
Do you do you
so
do you do you have I mean, you're writing Esther now, which is
yes.
about Queen Esther. It's about the Megillat Esther. Um, is that something that you came up with? Are you do you have projects that are your own and you're not being asked to, and you're working
Yes,
on
I
those?
do. Lester is something I wanted. There are two projects I've always wanted to do. It's Esther, and another one is called Till We Have Faces, which is a book written by C.S. Lewis. I like looking for material that's like women centric. And Esther was an easier sell because I work I'm part of a Christian theater company. So we're always looking for new material.
Mhm.
And so far, Trumpets, which is the company I belong to, has produced all the other work I have ever done. Everything I do outside of Trumpets is usually a corporate thing. They're also full musicals, but again, there are people who've seen what I have done, and then they call me and says, "Can you write the story of our founder. I mean, his life story. So
Mhm.
I go and do that, but that's for a very limited audience. So I'm blessed, like I said, I'm blessed in the sense that after they found out I could write, they asked that I've already been asked to do things. So
And the
they,
quest, but are you, so the Quest for Adana, you say it's a children's musical, and
yes,
I've had a few people in our in Jet Live that we've talked about
yeah,
children's plays that in Israel, and they could be a little bit more uh, more entertain more. I don't exactly know the word, but better basically. And have you? And I actually, when I was in the Philippines, I had a great conversation with director Jaime
yes,
on the beach, and one of the things I said to him was where he asked me, how do we continue theater, and I said it's through the youth. That's really where you connect, and I think we've had a lot of people that come to Jet Live and we talk about our community and how we people have grown through the theater world here. Um, is that where you would say your passion is? Is that where you see theater? I'm jumping between screen my
yeah.
Zoom and my Facebook, and I'm getting confused.
I've just totally blocked off Facebook. I don't know what my
Well,
Facebook
I
is
want
on
to see
my
if anybody
phone.
has a question to ask
I
you.
know.
I
You're the
see
host. You
who's
have to do
joining,
that.
but my I, I my question is that where your passion passion was? Is that what kind of you fell into writing for um, children's works? And also you mentioned C.S. Lewis a few times. Is
Yes.
he's your favorite?
It's one of my favorite.
One
Yes,
of your favorite,
probably. Well, the other one is Tolkien. So
right? And are those um, pieces uh, like would we be able to are you able to adapt those? I mean, you have in a way, you've
yes,
done The Horses and His Boy, you've done The Lion, the
yes,
Witch and Wardrobe.
yes.
Can is that adaptable for youth, for children? What and what's the age that your audience is it 0 to 6, or like,
Well,
or you
it
teens?
yeah, it depends. Usually, like Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, our target audience was 7 to 12, but more 12 than 7, considering what the material is like. I mean, Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe has several layers to it. So you make it interesting enough for children, but you also make it, you retain what's there and make it so that it doesn't matter how old you are, you'll watch Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe and enjoy it. And the quest for the Adarna, however, was commissioned by a totally different company. It's Repertory Philippines Children's. It's really a children's theater company. It's I think what do they call it? Repertory Theater for Youth or something to that. RTYA. I forgot what it is. But I was commissioned to do that, and it was like a real struggle for me because I had already worked with C.S. Lewis, Oscar Wilde, Hans Christian Andersen, and uh, those went over very well with audiences. And I mean, kids would watch it. I mean, 7-year-olds and then grandmothers, and everyone would watch it and enjoy it. Now I had a target audience that was really 7 to 12, and uh, when the people started coming in, we actually had preschool children in. But my interest has always been the reason why I'm adapting things is bringing these classics to the level where children can understand and enjoy them. And it's so the whole thing is you don't distort, well, you don't adapt it so that it's unrecognizable. You don't forget what it means. You get all the basic lessons from it and all the main characters, and as much as possible, all the main points. And then you add all your little things for marketing purposes because you have to sell. Uh, but yeah, if you would call it a passion, I do think theater is an important teaching tool, and you start with the children. And in the Philippines, you started with something that has music in it. So musicals always go over bigger than straight plays, especially for children.
Yeah.
Uh, Horse and His Boy was a struggle because Jaime, who was directing it, uh, felt that it should not be a musical because of the it was a whole thing about language. And in fact, Jaime and I usually work in tandem. And what happened here is uh, the producer Audie Himora, who was the president of Trumpets, was saying, if you two keep writing together, it takes you 2 years to produce a new musical. Can you please split up? Jaime will do one and you will do one. That way we have two ready to go at any time.
Mhm.
So Jaime said, you write Horse and His Boy because you do straight, you do book scenes better than I do. So since I loved Horse and His Boy, I said, sure. And honestly, Jaime, if you're listening, I'm not telling you. I'm a bigger Narnia fan than Jaime is. So I know the
Mhm.
material better than he does. So he went and did Bluebird of Happiness, which the producer commissioned. Uh,
Is it better? Is it better to have more material, or like what's the like? We have a theater company here, actually, Women's
yes,
Performance Community Theater. They pretty much work. They work together to create something. It takes them about 2 years, and then
yeah.
so every 2 years they're producing something. Um, uh, what's why do more than one every 2 years, especially the process of raising the funds, finding the people to invest and putting it all together, especially original work. It takes longer to develop, because people need to know from scratch what you're planning to do. Sometimes you when something's not original, you have everything to look back on.
Yeah.
I personally um, think you can respect all of that, but you should try to find your own. You should respect all that. I misplaced that. You should respect what happened in the past, and and adapt some of what you can to what you need to. But like
Yes.
original work, you're working from the ground up usually, so it takes much
Yes.
longer. So what do you why do they need to have more
Well,
happening?
we have several, I don't know what to call it, venues. Usually we have our big musicals, but then we do smaller ones. This one
Mhm.
I do on a more regular basis. Is we have Trumpets, the company I work with, has a summer workshop for children. So it's children's musical theater, it's acting, it's dancing, it's singing, it's everything. And at the end of that, you always have a showcase
Mhm.
where the you put up the production and show off what the kids have learned. And we usually need material to put in there for them. And since we we decided at the start that Trumpets would be a company that would do only originals, we kind of like painted ourselves into a corner
Mhm.
and had to do originals. Since then, we've kind of broken out of that because when we got desperate, we put in uh, existing work already. But but that's very few and far between, and they didn't go over as well as our originals did. So now we're trying very hard to keep something going. So when we say writing material, we're not just talking about a 2.5 hour grand musical. We're talking about little pocket things that are 40 minutes long.
Mhm.
and it can be anything. Some of them are reviews, like you take existing songs and weave them into an original story. Everything with the same purpose, just tell the story, engaging, which children can perform in, or children can enjoy watching others, especially for workshop material. So uh, a lot of things that I have done for them is you get uh, you get like nursery rhyme characters. Like I wrote something called Goosicle, which were all Mother Goose characters, and we put them together, and uh, they're all bound together, but by the fact that they lost their sheep. So little Bo Peep, Mary had a little lamb, little boy Blue. They all lost their sheep, and where did all the sheep go? Being a Christian theater company, they all went to the manger. It was a Christmas story. They
Wow.
had to look. They had to look for the sheep, and on the way, they learned uh, how to get along, how to problem solve, how to help each other, and finally find the sheep at the manger with Jesus. Kind of like
Wow,
I said.
I grew up on We Sing and Old King Cole.
Yes,
I watched
yes,
a lot of that.
stuff like that. So
Yeah.
we adapt, but some of them are more and more. I've always been interested in Filipino tales.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so Repertory Philippines is known for always bringing in material.
Mm-hmm.
They have only ever, in 50 years of existence, only done two originals.
Mm-hmm.
One was about one of our old presidents, General Emilio Aguinaldo, and one was the work I did for children's theater. And that was a big thing because it was the first original Filipino musical for Repertory Philippines. And it was in English because Adarna is so popular. It's been done so many times, movies and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was the very first work in English.
How much I know that, I mean, in Israel we have the Hebrew language, we have English. My theater community specifically, we do English theater mostly,
Yeah,
and then we have Arabic.
yeah.
How many languages are there in the Philippines?
98.
98.
They have 98 dialects.
Wow.
But we have, I would say we have about four or five main ones. I mean, big groups. And if you speak two of them, you kind of can communicate with everybody. So we have Filipino, which is the Central Luzon, and it's our national language. And we have Visayan, which is usually eastern part of the middle part of the Philippines, and then Ilonggo, which is the western part of the Visayas. But a lot of, and then we have the Muslim languages, Tausug.
Yeah,
We
there's
have
a
a
lot
whole
of,
lot. And
yeah.
now up north, you have the mountain people with their own language, Ibanag, Ifugao, etc. So it's a whole lot. But if you speak Tagalog, I mean Filipino,
Yeah.
most people can understand.
And is theater done in all 98 languages? Which is
No, no.
the
Uh, right now, mostly it's in Filipino,
mhm.
but a lot of the regional theaters are already writing their own. And a lot of material is coming out of the Visayas. That's the central part of the Philippines. So a lot of good material is already coming out of there. And
in
it is in their dialect. And then up north, they're starting to do it. It's slow but sure. I mean, it's growing and it's getting really exciting.
in this is in English or
No, the regional theaters are doing it in their
in
dialects.
their dialects? Ah,
Yes.
okay. Yeah,
So,
here we actually have um, more than just Hebrew and Arabic. We have and English. We have French.
yeah.
People are always moving here, so we even have a lot of Filipino here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out that Nelson Caruncho is
Oh, yes.
commenting, watching, and Stacy Ray. and trumpets play shop was tagged here. Thank you, Dale, for watching. He's going to be joining us on Jet Live this week. And Barack Bard, thank you for joining us. It's amazing what you do in the Philippines. I mean, what is the population of Manila? Like,
Oh my God. Don't ask me that.
don't
It's
ask you
been-
that. The truth
No.
is, I mean, in the end of the day, does population matter? As long as you're doing good theater and people are coming as audience and you're connecting people. We're a pretty small country over here, but there's so much art going on. And I think there's so much that we can learn from each other. I mean, I've been advocating for. I mean, there's been a few times where theater companies here have done original work in English. I've been advocating for more original work to be done here, but it's great to have someone like you who is there, who is the writer, who knows how to make that process happen, because original work comes from. It's from you, so that's just we need more people like you over here in Jerusalem that are ready to do that. Obviously, you write for corporate, as you said, and there's the commercial theater, and we all need to make money. We all need
Yes.
to survive somehow. But the passion that you have, like especially like the amount of time that we've spoken about Esther, it's fascinating. And I'm so glad that I missed my flight. It's a crazy story, guys. Like, so glad I missed the flight was canceled or whatever it is, and I was able to join you at the table and have a conversation and strike a friendship. And I am so glad that you took the time out of your day to join me on Jet Live. I really believe that there's a lot for our theater communities to learn from each other. I believe that all over the world, theater communities can learn from each other, especially how to reach out to the youth and keep that theater relationship with the theater going. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
This has been a pleasure. And if anybody, 12.8 million in Manila, that's what Nelson is saying over here.
I thought it was bigger than that.
But so we have
I think we have over
8 million
100.
altogether.
Well, we have a lot more than that just in the city.
Yeah, wow. I remember being there. Traffic is crazy.
Oh, but it's even worse now. Don't come back. Yeah.
Really?
So now it's wonderful. No one is in the streets. It's wonderful.
Is there still lockdown over there?
Yes.
I can't, in the past half hour, I can't believe I didn't even ask that. So you're still locked down.
We're still in lockdown. We're calling it expanded quarantine, expanded community quarantine. So people can't go out. I mean, you have to have a pass to go out and buy stuff, and only one person from each household has one or can use one. So if you're a household of 5, only one person can go out at a time.
And they gave the pass to your dog, right?
No, I have the pass. I can't go out. Anybody over 60 cannot go out.
Right.
And I think anyone below 20. But people are going out, and when they do go out to shop, we have social distancing. Like when you line up in supermarkets, they have little yellow circles or X's, and you have to stand in there. And then in the stores, they only allow like 5 people in at the same, at one go.
Yeah.
So it's like horrible. You go to the supermarket, and I've heard people like have to wait in line for 6 6 hours, and just to do 30 minutes of grocery
What
shopping.
what's so amazing is I just talked about how we can all really learn from each other about theater. Well,
Yeah.
we're all learning from each other about this COVID-19
Oh, yeah.
because
Yes.
what you're saying is what well we're starting to actually ease up on the lockdown here in Israel.
Yeah.
Um, the right now the the cases are dropping, so they're saying
Yeah.
okay they're pushing for more and more easing of lockdown. But we
Yeah.
had lockdown like that too, where people weren't really allowed to leave their houses, and people over 60 are still um, uh, not really able to go out
Yeah.
for the most part. My parents actually were telling me they have designated parks for
Okay.
elderly in their town. So and supermarkets also long lines. So we're dealing with it all over the world,
Yes.
and that's what and but this was able to happen. Jet
Oh,
Live,
yes. Oh,
yeah.
yes. Jet Live and everything else. I mean, you go online, like we have this original Filipino musical based on the music of a popular rock band of the
Mhm.
90s. And they aired it online they streamed it for 48 hours. And they had like 7 million views all over the world. I mean, we're using a lot of theater companies are airing their productions to raise money
Yeah.
for all the theater people who have no earnings whatsoever because I mean the theaters are just I mean none, everything's dark, no one
Yeah.
has work,
Yeah.
so
But
we're,
we're still preparing. You're
yes,
writing. You're working
yes,
on your material.
everyone's working.
Everyone's working on something, just not getting paid for it at this point.
No, definitely.
But hopefully
Yeah.
afterwards, I mean, we're hoping that the theaters will open up. It'll be a bright. I wrote a recent article about it, and I said that we're going to be brighter. The lights are gonna shine
Yes.
in the theaters when they're able to fully function, because live theater is a joy. But I love the fact that we're able to stream and send material, and even some people are working on new material for these specific tools for Zoom,
Oh,
um,
definitely. Well, we're
which
just waiting for theaters to open, and we're hoping, oh my gosh, better. Like it's a good thing our big production. We were supposed to have a run. We just did Joseph the Dreamer for our theater company, and it was such a huge hit. And the day we closed, the next day lockdown happened.
wow,
So I mean, not lockdown, but it was not a total lockdown yet, but COVID thing exploded,
yeah,
and then people started having restrictions. There are several shows that were actually about the day before they opened, and they were having their usual technical runs and couldn't. I mean, they couldn't go on. Then and they were all set to open the following day. It's like shut down, and that's happened. So a lot of people have no work. I think writers are have it better because we have alternative earning ways to earn. I mean,
Mhm.
like I've, I've been asked to write content for blogs, ghostwrite books, edit this, edit that. It's not nothing. It's
Right,
small things. There's a lot of things to do. So
right,
I'm not zero, but it's like the production people.
yeah,
It's like musicians and
yeah,
even the
yeah,
performers. So
yeah. It's there's a lot of people who need our help. Um,
yes,
I know that Ken Davenport, who inspired to start this Jet Live, because um, he does his interviews with with Broadway producers, actors, and creators. He's always pointing out about the Actors Fund. I know that in Israel there's a few happening, and we've talked about it a few times in the Jet Live. Um, but it's we everyone needs help right now,
yeah,
especially in the artists world. But I think we're going to be stronger for it, because we're connecting, collaboration, and there's discussion, and when all this is over, we're going to a much brighter, better world, a human connection,
Oh yes,
like
definitely.
we've never seen before. And the artists are going to be driving it
Yes,
because
definitely. Wait, I have a question.
yes,
You were we back to the whole creative process, and
yeah,
I wanted to ask it earlier, and then it just skipped by, and I remembered. Um, we have you were asking about children and the
yeah.
passion for writing for children, and Jaime saying the future of theater is in the youth. You develop interest in it while they're young. You get them used to it, watch it, enjoy it while they're young. Do you have anything like that in your theater community existing
Um,
now?
so so um, in Israel itself, I mean, again, there children's theater for really young kids, and you see it on the streets. You have performers on the streets,
Yeah.
um, performing weird things that I don't understand as what they're doing, but it's entertaining the kids. It keeps the kids entertained. There's festival. They do a big a thing over the of Hanukkah, where a lot of kids see like a big production. There is a lot of children's theater
Okay.
and there's even something called the Train Theater in Jerusalem, which is a small stage which they do a lot of children's theater. Um, Most of it's in Hebrew. In my community, in the English speaking theater community, we have kids that join shows. Like we have a company called Encore, and they did King and I, they have 50 kids. We don't have a lot of original work that happens. I'm working with a place called Crossroads, which we work with
Yeah.
youth, and we're developing a theater program there. There's a guy, Marty Wesell, who I interviewed, who did an original musical, but it's and he brought in younger kids, and we had there's something called Jelly, which Ailey Kaplan Wildman, who also was on Jet Live, he works with, and I think they actually did The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, like their own production of it, a few years ago. And there's
Okay, losing you.
so things here and there that happened. Time that I went to the Philippines, I also went to London, and I discovered a place called Chicken Shed. Um, and that's who we're working with, Crossroads, the chicken shed. It's a shed, like a
Yeah,
house.
yeah, yeah.
If you heard that wrong, I'm sorry.
No,
uh,
I knew what you were saying, but it sounds so close to the other word you were thinking
yes, I know. So they actually have different places they've worked with in China and New York, Finland, I think maybe Russia too, and also Jerusalem, like Crossroads. We're working with them, and they have programs 0 to 6 year olds, and the kids actually join their company when they turn 7. They could join the company, and they're inclusive. So they have kids with Down syndrome, and they have kids in wheelchairs, and they have blind kids. It's an amazing place. I spent like 6 days there. I spent almost a week there right before I went to the Philippines, and that's where it like clicked. Like youth, this is where it comes from. Um, they have something called Tales from the Shed, and they have something right now that they're doing because of the coronavirus. They started a YouTube channel, Tales TV, um, it's reaching out to those younger kids to start them uh, through this process, but then they develop into these kids who come to be part of Chicken Shed. So you have material for them when they're younger, and then you give them material to perform when they get a little bit older, and you have to catch them at the right time. So so that's what they do, and I think it's great. But it's not so prevalent. It's not so big in the English speaking theater world in Jerusalem from what I've seen. Um, but it is out there. Like there are companies which are doing that. I think the best is really to have the kids come when they're young, see something, and then have them join your company. Whereas a lot of companies, what they do is they show the kids the children's work, like Free to Be You and Me. It's a children's show, but it's performed by adults acting as children for children instead of having the children be in the show. Okay. So you want to give them that kind of thing of like, I want to be part of the theater, and then give them the opportunity to be part of the theater when they're younger.
I think that you're right. I think that's one of the draws why Our Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe was a big hit. Because like when they do it abroad, the kids are played by adults. When we did it in the Philippines, we used real children. Like our Lucy and Edmund were 9 and 10, and like 14. So that was a big thing. Because then you have 3 casts of kids performing, etc.
Yeah, so Encore does that, I think, very well here, where they choose shows, and there's another company, they choose shows which they, younger kids involved in the show, and then every year they come back, and they come back, and eventually there was one kid who was really young, he was in a show, and then he was the lead in Hans Andersen. They did a musical, Hans Christian. They made it into a musical. So he was leading that. He played Hans Andersen. So it does happen here. Hopefully it'll continue to happen and happen more. So I think that's all for today. This has been a pleasure. It's been a long one too, and I'm so excited for that. There's so much nuggets of wisdom. I hope some people are still watching. So thank you so much, Luna.
Thank you, CB. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's great to see you. I hope we continue to chat.
Yes.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna mention tonight we have Sam Gordon joining us from New York City. He did lighting recently for Beetlejuice right before all this happened. I went to high school with him, so I'm very excited to join with him. And you'll be able to please share this with anybody. And we have a bunch of others joining us this week. Let's see if I can remember any of them. David Boccaccio Honor on Wednesday. We have Michael Burrell. He's a artistic director here for a company that does shows with. He's done Annie. He's done a lot of shows where kids come and see his shows. Families are always coming, and they usually do it during the holiday of Hanukkah. We have Michael Eden tomorrow as well at 2, and Gabby Shine Thursday night. We were supposed to open Encore to open South Pacific Thursday night, so she's going to be talking with us then. And next week and the week after, we have a bunch of guests as well. So goodbye for now. Thank you for joining Jet Live, and we will be seeing you soon.
Okay, bye.